Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before I do get started, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a number of events happening. Now, Deku, him, Mina, Mirio, and their group went into a dungeon. While they were hiding out in an apartment complex, they were attacked. Massive creatures with 4 arms, no head, and a mouth on their chest came to their building. It broke through the wall, and one grabbed Deku. He was forced to use his hammer and his strength regulation in order to take 2 down. Now, he leveled up because of this. Afterwards, they had to figure out exactly what to do. There's only a couple more days until the safe zones open. And that is their biggest problem. They managed to stay somewhere for a few days, but eventually they had to move. Now, because they were trying to find a safer place to hide, they ended up in a dungeon. A place, by design, is meant to kill them. There is only one saving grace in this situation. Safe rooms exist in dungeons. And when the group found themselves in one, it was a godsend. Now, they ran into another classmate, Moru Mineta, who was not only happy to see them, but was surprised to see Deku. Deku is at level 6, the highest level he's seen. Along with that, the other 2 people with him, he wasn't expecting to see at all. The civilians, they're happy to be somewhere safe. However, without food, they all do fear they will not last long down here. Deku, however, was happy to provide a solution to that, because those dinosaurs he killed are still in his inventory. Now, people were concerned about Deku. Not only is he technically very strong, but he made things quite clear about the situation. If they try to attack him when they leave this room, he will knock them out and take their weapons. He will make things harder for them if they try to kill him, and he won't kill them himself. He'll leave that to the environment they're in. Now, the people with Deku attested to the fact that he's a tough bastard, and with the fact that he just provided everyone with some fresh food, it did mean quite a bit, especially with the fact they got an achievement for their meal. Now, it's been a couple of hours. Deku, he has yet to go over his achievements. However, he has been hearing a few bits of commotion. People talking about the items they have. And whenever Deku does begin to wake up, he does go to sit up. Him confused a bit before he does go to crack his neck, turning to look at the fire. Seeing that some people, they are still cooking the dino meat that he gave them. And he does feel a little odd about it. The scraps people have put in their inventory. He's not sure what they can really do with it, but I mean, hey. Organs and stuff like that might come in handy. Though, right now, him pulling a piece of dino meat out of his inventory and chewing on the cooked steak as if it was rough. The strength in his jaw does provide him a way to bite through it, though it does taste a little off. Not like cow, not like chicken, but something in between. The texture is kind of like beef, but the taste is closer to chicken. It's a new flavor and the meat is tough. Though he does gotta sit there, trying to think about it himself. He's the most powerful person here. He can go try to handle the boss and get that done. He knows he could, couldn't he? But what else can he do? It's supposed to be a boss battle. If they have magical abilities stronger than his, that could be bad. He has legendary abilities since level 1, technically level 4, but that's besides the point. He's powerful. If this is supposed to be some sort of boss entity, who's to say that they won't be able to take him down? He took down those massive creatures yesterday. But now there's this whole situation. Walking into the boss room will be a bad idea. Though, they've got to make a bit of a plan. Deku looking at the flashing symbol in the corner of his screen. And he does get a click on it, just annoyed that it's still flashing. Before he does, gonna see the achievements pop up. New achievement! Giant's Bane. Killed a large creature. Reward? You have received Titan's Gauntlets. These gauntlets are made from the sinew of a giant's body. Currently, they do provide +5 to strength and +3 to wisdom. Mountain Puncher Gauntlets. Ability: Minor Shock Absorption, 25% of force. Heavy Grip. You cannot be disarmed. Deku's staring at that. 5 to strength? Him going to equip them. And whenever Deku does see gauntlets manifest on his forearms, he does stare at them. They do have a strange rope-like pattern, along with the fact that they do seem a little odd. They're off-colored brown. They wrap tightly around his forearms, and they do come down, wrapping around his hand and part of his knuckles. And he does just stare at them. Incredible. He actually has a piece of armor, besides just his helmet. Okay. The +5 to strength, plus his helmet. His strength's at 14. This making him smile. Maybe there could be a bit better of a plan then. Note: he's gonna have to check his achievements more. That's definitely gonna be annoying, but so far it is rewarding. Going back to the list. New achievement: Enter a dungeon. Dungeoneer's Belt. Designed to hold anything. Deku going to receive the item, and it does pop up in his hand. Him going to set it down to inspect it in a minute. New achievement: Survivalist. Eat a system entity. Reward: Brine Solution Pouch. Storing meat in this pouch does make it safe to cook. Deku going to receive it in his hand and look at it. And it does look rather odd. It expressing that it can currently hold up to 5 pounds of fresh meat. Deku is staring at that and going to put it in his inventory and go to inspect the Dungeoneer's Belt. Right now, going to stand as people do look his way. and he does to grab his red utility belt off of his body, staring at this. There's nothing in his pouches. I mean, this belt is part of his hero suit. Right. Him putting that in his inventory, looking at this item and clicking inspect, and it does not provide any advantage, though he does go to equip it. The brown belt going to appear on his waist, and he does go to look down at it to check it out. Before people, they do start to ask him what he's doing, and Deku does talk about it. One of the rewards he got from killing one of those monsters was a pair of gauntlets. He got armor. And people, they do look around at each other. Deku turning to Mario, talking about it. With this in his helmet, he has 30 points available. 30. That's basically 10 levels. Shit. You're basically level 16 then. Not, well, I mean, maybe. My stats mimic that level, I guess, but we can't just assume that I'll have the advantage. Fair. Uh, so, do we have a plan? Nah, stepping forward, talking about it. They've got to get out of here. All of them received that damn achievement. But right now, how long will the food last? They might be able to make it in another day. But when this opens, when the dungeon opens, what can they do? System notice. All of them going to freeze. Before a timer does pop up. Expressing. They have been in the dungeon for more than 8 hours. People are hiding in the dungeons. This issue is resolved. Dungeons now have timers. This bug has been fixed. System note. Patches in the future will be continued in order to stop exploits from being used. And everyone, they do go to resume. The room immediately erupting into panic. And that isn't good. Deku himself is surprised. Not happy about it, but clearly himself annoyed. Just when they found somewhere safe. Seriously? God. These people are just trying to kill them. As Deku does think about it, they need to head out then. Him turning to see Mina sitting on her own cot, just staring at the fire. She has seen the information, but very clearly she is hesitant to leave this room. Him looking to Mineta. He's just as scared. Turning to the others. Other people, they do look frightened. Hell, even he's afraid. Right. Maybe they can hide in here at the very least. Get some more rest. That's the main idea he does have. Currently, making his way over to the group. Putting his helmet on and going to talk to Mirio. Bringing a hand onto his shoulder and trying to be careful. Mirio, alarmed by Deku's tight grip. And Deku does go to express, just holding a hand onto his arm. They can figure this out. Right now, Deku looking at everybody. Whoever has weapons needs to hand them over to him. What? We're not handing over equipment. I don't have a weapon. Not one I can reasonably use. Besides, all of you want to stay here, so what's the use of a weapon for you? Right now, I can fight the boss. If I need to, Mirio might be able to back me up. Maybe even Mina. If any of you want to stay here, you're fine. But I don't want to know what happens when that timer runs out. But we need to wait. Wait for what? The world. The world's ended. And I don't like saying it, but no one's coming to save us. All of them giving Deku a grim expression. And Deku does go to look around at everybody. Mario himself does hold a sour expression on his face, but he does go to nod, talking about it. He's right, but he really shouldn't have just laid things out like that. Fact is, the game clearly is being set up so they can't hide in different places. Save zones might be the only place they can hide. Safe rooms are different. Nothing can harm them in here. No rule says that mobs can come in here, though. That's just a guarantee. The dungeon's fair game, but they can make it so they can't hide in them forever. Maybe. But now what? Now we play their game. It sucks, but we don't know how difficult this dungeon is. They could have given us an hour, they could have given us a couple hours, but as far as I'm aware, that timer, do you think it's set for us? Maybe. But why us? I don't know. That's my whole question. Either there's too many people hiding in here, or they're fixing this themselves. Right. Mirio going to nod, turning and asking everybody if any of them have weapons they want to hand over. Right now, they'll beat the dungeon boss. Whoever wants to come along with them can come along. But it won't be easy. They're fairly certain that it won't. Mina does it a stand, walking over and talking about how she can help them out. It's gonna be difficult, but she's sure that she can do something, giving them both a thumbs up. And Deku does get a nod, her grabbing him by his shoulder and talking about it. Besides, she's not gonna leave this guy behind. He's, well, they're in it for the long run. Deku giving her a smile, her nodding back at him, and she does a talk about it, turning to Mineta. You coming along? I can, but I'm not sure how much help I can be. I'm sure you'll be of some help. Your ability can lock people down, right? So, we lock down the dungeon boss, and these two guys beat it to death. Solid strategy, right? Sounds like it. People getting a lot more confident. Deku might be enough on his own, but with more people, that can work. They can get out of here, get through this. And they do get a step forward, handing Deku their weapon and going to walk over to a campfire, talking about how they're not gonna play. And Deku does go to take the weapon. An axe. It's more like a hatchet. That's good. He actually has a basic weapon. Okay. Now they have to play. Him gonna step out, And when they do, he does encounter a few different mobs. Right now, him seeing shamblers who do go to carry rusty weapons. And he does go to begin to swipe at them. Deku, Mirio, Mina, and Mineta. They do go to begin making their way down the corridor and trying to see what they encounter. And there is where they do a round another corner and creatures currently flying in the air do begin to fire at them with large eyes. This highly unusual. And right now, they do to hide behind the wall. Deku putting the hatchet directly to his belt and finding that it does go to stick. Before, he does go to pull out his system bow and go to around the corner, beginning to fire at them. And the creatures, they do go to fire at Deku. Deku also being alarmed when an arrow does come flying through the air. And it does go to smash directly into his arm and go to hit him. This surprising him, as he does bring his hand up, grabbing the arrow from his arm and going to pull it out. And when he does do that, he does look down at his shoulder to watch it begin to close the wound rather quickly, turning and going to glare down the hall, as he does begin to pull back his bowstring and fire. Now, Deku also does send bioelectricity down the hall. Him going to fire it when he does think that it's good. And right now, they do begin to head down the dungeon. Things aren't that difficult. It's actually pretty easy. Mirio and Mina are even able to handle things together. Mineta does step forwards and throw out his strikes. His explosive goo, that does get to lock down enemies when it does go to make physical contact with them. With enough of it, someone falls over. Then they stick to the ground. This is good. Right now, Mineta himself does get to feel some confidence when they do go to arrive in front of a boss room. It took them a little over an hour, and trying to make their way through this strange area. Some of the civilians even felt confident. Right now, 9 people, they do going to make their way into the room. And they're looking around, wondering about what they will be facing. And there is where an old monk does sit there on his knees. His body withered away. And he does look dead. No, undead. And right now, there is where light does begin to come to his eyes. A strange blue and white glow that does go to make him rise to his feet. And the man, he looks rather tall, a level popping up over his head. And this does look rather bad. Level 15. Everyone staring at that. And Deku himself does a step forward. Right now telling them all to let him feel this out. And Mirio, he does go to stand on guard, telling everyone else to do the same. 2, before the man does send out a burst of speed and come directly towards them. And this, it does mean a bit. Right now Deku, he does take a strike directly to his chest. It going to knock him backwards and off of his feet, flying through the air and crashing into the dungeon wall. Before there is where he actually has to fall to his knees and go to cough blood. And everyone, they got into a panic. Mirio was the only other person who was ready for things to be this bad, for things to really have escalated so much. And he does try to focus his attempts on dodging. That currently what he is trying to do. And there is Mina. Mina does make sure to try and coat certain areas in acid, and her body does begin to flow a bit like goo. And Mineta, he just started chucking his spell around, him allowing it to explode and hit the monk. But the man, he did not care. An aura went up around him, and the goo quite literally slid off his body. It did not stick. And when Deku got back to his feet, he did get to raise his hand. Him sending out bioelectricity as he has a hold of his hand, and it does an arc. Mirio, going to see that and going to try and chain his and Deku's attack together. As the two, they do get to strike out at the man. The man going to bring his hand up and try to punch away the strike. But when he does batter the strike away, he does go to clearly have his arm begin to ignite into a flame, before bringing up his right hand and going to send out a strike covered in a blue aura. And it does an arc out and slam Drucky into Mina. It hitting her in the gut as she is sent flying backwards and hitting the ground, currently going to bleed. And the man does a turn, him rushing towards the lower level enemies. And Deku, he does go to activate Strength Regulation, him going to move in running. And when he does it to come in, the man does a turn, him going to punch out at Deku directly in the face. Deku is surprised, as when the man does send out a strike, it does it punch Deku directly in the face, hitting him in the helmet before another strike does it hit him in the face. Then another strike does a punch him directly in the chest, and another one in the chest. Him going to slide backwards, as right now he does go to feel these in his body. Right now, it's bad. His health is actually going down. Bringing his hand up and going to raise it for a strike. But he doesn't realize that the man who just went to go slam someone into the wall just killed someone. Another person rushing towards them with a weapon. They're too close. And Deku does run over to Mina. Him going to bend down and open his inventory, pulling out his first aid kit and pressing it down to her, as he does get the prompt to use it on himself or use it on Mina Ashido. And he did make this attempt. Right now, her wounds did begin to heal, and she started to turn and cough blood. Though there is the fact that right now, she does go to talk about it. She's using an active. Her body will turn to goo, draw him towards her. She's going to be ready for it this time. Deku nodding. Turning to Mirio, talking about how he's going to try and use his teleportation ability. Whatever he can use it now. Mirio nodding. And he does go to roar out, jumping forward. And Deku, he does a turn, teleporting over as there is a massive boof of air. And he does going to move in. Right now, chaining two teleportations and coming towards the person. Swinging his hand out as the person, they do go to turn their head and move backwards, dodging and sending a strike directly into Deku's body. And when Deku does take the strike, he does go to use telekinetic pressure. Him bringing his hand up as the person, they do to throw their feet down, planting them, and using their own aura. Fighting back against Deku, as Deku, he does go to feel himself being pushed. Bring his hands up, and going to activate the ability again. His intelligence is high. They can't fight his mind. And that, it does mean a bit. Him bringing his hand up and going to send out bioelectricity. And the person, they do go to take the strike before retaliating with their own attack and hitting Deku directly in the stomach. The lance bursting against his skin and piercing through his body. Him going to step backwards and go to fall onto one knee. blood pooling from his stomach. And he does go to look back up as the person that are rushing right towards him. So he got a kick that does gonna knock out teeth and send him flying. It breaking his neck and sending him sprawling onto the ground against the far wall. And Deku, he does go to try and get back to his feet. But it's a bit difficult. Him going to activate biomass. And his head, which is angled oddly, does begin to repair as it does to feel his neck move back into place. And he does go to get to his feet. Right now, feeling everything in his chest and stomach begin to regenerate. The person got through his armor. That's not good. Okay. What can he do with biomass, though? Come on. He's still got some sort of way. Right. Deku bring his hand up. And he does go to throw out another piece of power. Bioelectricity arcing through the air and smashing into the creature. As it does pull its arm out of Mina's slime-like body. As acid, it is trying to eat away at its undead flesh. And Mineta, he is still trying his best to do what he can. He, surprisingly, is very fast. Though that might actually be unsurprising. He's already at level 5. And his speed might be close to matching that creature. So, this does mean quite a bit. Currently, him going to try and think. Biomass. Okay. He activated it to heal himself. But what if he does draw on it more? Biomass is just parts of his body. His body is part of him. He can use the ability to heal himself, but does the ability know when to stop? That's a good question. He still feels like it wants to pour into him. Now, Deku does to activate Jumper. And when he does go to come in, he does go to strike out at the creature. This time, him going to, in his hand, activate Sonic Explosion as the creature, it does to be knocked backward and sent flying against the wall. And Deku does stand there as everyone, they do go to look at him. Right now watching as his mangled fingers with exposed bone do begin to regenerate. And then Deku does go to try and pull more of that energy into his body. Him slightly growing in size and bulking a bit more in muscle. And he does go to turn, telling Mirio he'll try and lock him down. Go for a damn death blow. I can't. What do you mean? He's faster and stronger than me. Deku nodding, and realizing he's gonna have to use his hammer. That is inevitable. Right. And the creature, it does come moving directly towards Deku. And Deku, he does leave himself wide open. Getting ready. Bring his right hand down and going to wait. The creature is at a fire lance at Deku. Him turning his body and getting a hit directly in the left shoulder. And the moment he does bring up his left hand for retaliation, the creature does throw out a strike directly towards his heart, aware that it is trying to kill him. And Deku, he does get ready. Him going to manifest the hammer in his right hand, and he does go to jump upwards as the creatures strike him below his heart, and Deku does come down with the hammer in his right hand, striking it, smashing across the head. And the creature does go to take the blow and hit the ground. Right now its arm coming out of Deku, as Deku, he does go to suck in a breath and still try to catch his breath. Now, Deku does get a turn, beginning to make his way towards the creature, as it does start to rise to his feet. Him going to jump over to it and throw his foot down, smashing it in one of its legs. And that does stop its speed. Before he has to bring the hammer up and crash it down into its skull. And it does go to finally die. This time, it not getting up. And Deku, he does go to stagger. Right now, going to activate the stored biomass of his ability. And he does have that hole in his torso begin to regenerate. Him looking down at it and going to stare at the dirty blood still covering his body. Ugh. Okay. He's fine. Okay, now he sees why that's a legendary ability. Wow. Actually, wow. Him looking down at himself. Him trying to return the biomass he took to feed his muscles back. And this doesn't work. He pulled it out of storage. And there's only one reliable way to put it back. Let his skill consume him. Him going to feel annoyed but pressing that button. Feeling his body begin to itch. And right now, it's good. Unfortunately, something he's gonna have to get used to now. And everyone, they are still staring at Deku. As he does a turn looking down at this creature. And that's good. Okay. Is there a second stage? Deku turning towards Mineta. And Mineta, he does look rather wary. Before there is where a notification does come in. No, there's no second stage. We were just fucking with you. You have completed your first dungeon. Note, you have done 60% of the damage to this mob. You have received the first place prize for doing this, as well as a reward for clearing your dungeon. You have received minor mana elixir. You have also received 5 stat points. You have also received 1 skill slot available. Skill note. Please select your following skill. Deku staring at this. And he does a turn looking around. Everyone's looking off like that. Turning to look back. Lance. Channel energy to fire at an opponent with one hand. This ability is best used in a jab-like motion. Protective aura. Create a barrier to defend yourself. Deku going to stare. His eyes falling on the third skill. Earth Splitter. Earth Splinter. Earth Splinter. Use Earth to fire shards at your opponent. These shards do vary on size and control. Control. Pour. Mana cost. 20 points. Deku staring at that. But they didn't even use that last one. Did you guys get Deku swiping these things away? And they don't go away. Him seeing an icon in the corner and going to press it. And when he does it do so, it does it vanish. Him looking around. And Mirio, he does go to try and do the same thing. Eventually, him closing his window. But Mina does it press something, along with Mineta. And when those two do the turn looking around, she does it ask, What did he pick? Oh, I haven't selected yet. Did you guys get Lance? Uh, yeah, that was one of the options. I got Lance, Protective Aura, and Earth Splinter. Really? I didn't get the third one. Me neither. I didn't get anything like those. Really? Well, the first two, yeah. The third one, no. But, I mean, Lance is a pretty good option. All your abilities are legendary, though. I know. That's my thing. It's a good ability. Besides, I mean, my fortitude's at 15. 15? Yeah, maybe I should have did that. I put all my points into speed. You're still alive. Yeah, but didn't that thing almost kill you? It might have. I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention to my health. You had a hole in your chest. Twice. I mean, I thought I was dead. I mean, its strike took out most of my health. Are you okay? I'm fine. Are you okay? Yeah, just itchy. One of my abilities, it heals me, but I mean, it kind of eats me. It's super weird. Fair. My ability turns me into a ball of slime. Or, well, I guess it does that to me in my clothes, at least. Deku nodding. Mineta giving Mina a funny look. And Deku does talk about the stat points he got. Right now, going full cockroach might be a bad option. Him selecting Lance. That definitely is a very good combat ability. Close range, he'll definitely be able to hurt someone with it. Even at mid range. Along with the fact that his intelligence being as high as it is, does mean a lot. That's good. But now, his stat points. That thing was fast. Did it have more stats than all of them? If it was level 5, no, level 15, then 3 times 5, that's 15, times that by 3 again. That makes no sense. 45 points. Stronger than him, so its strength was above 15. Way stronger than him, so maybe above 20. Almost as fast as Mineta, so no, faster than Mineta, so 20 points there. This thing was purely a combat build. If he's right, it had no points in intelligence, if not barely any to use magic. It was mainly concerned about getting in close for combat. Jesus. Okay. Maybe it's a good thing that he did put all those points in a fortitude. Right. Now he's got to figure this out. His strength won't be a problem for a while. His regulation does help him with that. He was slow. Very slow. His speed is at an 8. Okay, so him applying 5 points to speed. And when he does do so, it does go directly up to 13. Him happy with that. And going to look at his level progress. He's nearly at level 7. That almost got him over the threshold. Okay, wow. Looks like he'll be leveling up again soon. Right. That's good. That's really good. Now, Deku, he does go to look at everybody. Right now, going to look around the room himself, and just now realizing that it's only the 4 of them. A number of people are dead. They survived. Half their group just died while they're still alive. Right. Turning and walking over to the door. And when he does go to try and open it, it does not budge. Right now, Deku pulling on it hard. And everyone, they do to see him bring one of his feet up, planting it on the wall, and going to pull harder. It's not budging at all. Before Deku, he does go to stop, turning and telling them all. They have a small problem. Them staring at him. And Deku does a look at the timer on his strength. It's gone already, but even then, this thing's not budging. Uh-oh. Uh-oh? What kind of uh-oh? I don't think it's gonna let us leave through this door. Right now, a portal opening inside that room. And they do all gonna turn around. Right now, it is shaped like a doorway. And it does go to show the exit to the store. As they do all make their way towards it, slowly and hesitantly. Mirio doesn't like the idea of leaving people behind. But the dungeon won't let them leave. It considered them a group. And it wants the others to fight the boss. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. Now, whenever the last person does step out through the portal, it does a snap close immediately. And they do to stand there outside. Deku's still shirtless and covered in blood. Mirio, with his cape no longer attached to his bloody and dirty hero costume. Mina, still in hers, but with some battle damage. And Mineta lost his cape. And he already took off the hood to his own. Without his quirk, the costume hood was weird. He pulled it back and eventually had to take it off when something grabbed him by the back of his neck. And that was bad. Now, they all do start to look around, trying to figure out where to go next. And Deku? He's trying to think. They do pick a direction and start to move. A little more than a day before the next safe zone. No, before the first safe zone does open. And this, it means quite a lot. The moment it opens, they need to run for it. They need to go towards it. And that means quite a lot. Now, with that, they do go to find another building to hide out in. This time, it isn't some sort of disguised dungeon. And they know that because whenever Deku does look inside, he does go to see souls inside the area. They might be surrounding the body and, well, hiding in the dark, but he can't see souls through some sort of portal. That's a good thing to know. Deku going to think about what they can hunt down next. Though Mirio does stop that idea short. If they do start trying to hunt down mobs, it'll draw more attention. Besides, he would rather have something else besides dinosaur meat. Deku nodding. They do to hide in another residence. This time, a little higher up. This place already showed signs of being ransacked by those giant creatures. But Deku currently does sit on watch and looking around. He's more concerned about things flying in the sky. But after a quick glance, there's nothing. And he does go to pull it up. Right now the timer clicking down for 24 hours. The crown above his head will disappear. It's been 1 week. 1 fucking week. Tomorrow, Gran Torino and Best Jeanist. Where are they in all of this? In everything? This being something that does make him curious. One person turned to ash, or was ripped apart atom by atom. He can't describe what he saw, what that person, how that person might have died. That's a whole other thing. He just got bitch slapped by a zombie. Death kind of doesn't seem to exist anymore. I mean, everything is so... Deku glancing up, looking towards the sky. Everything's so complicated. I mean, it's... Deku staring at an object in the sky. He he's not sure what he's looking at. Blood beginning to trail from his eyes. And Deku, he does feel immense pressure make him drop to his knees. His grip strength breaking the concrete as he does squeeze it. And right now he does start to laugh. And it terrifies him. Why? Why is there a gap in his mind? What is he laughing at? He saw something, but he doesn't understand. He saw something in the sky. A soul. He saw it. And he starts to laugh. And he just keeps going and going. And whenever someone does come outside to check on him, they do to see Deku. Right now, hands and body shaking, laughing. And he looks shaken up. When someone does go to approach him, they do to pull the helmet off of his head. The moment they do go to stare directly at Deku. His eyes are blinded, but they're covered in blood, streaming from it quickly. And someone does reach their hand out. Deku turning and shoving them away. And the moment he does, there is where they do get sent flying backwards, crashing to the ground. And Deku, he does go to fall over. Still laughing. He's not sure what to say. He's not sure what to do. He looked at the moon and he saw a soul. There's something on the moon? No, there can't be. Then again, there might be. He doesn't understand. He saw a soul in the sky. That's horrifying. Now, everyone, they do go to back away from Deku. And after a couple of minutes, he does finally fall silent. As he does go to sit there, on the ground, grabbing his legs and curling himself up into a ball. And Mirio does go to approach, trying to ask if he's okay. And Deku, he doesn't respond. Mirio does go to reach out for him. And when he does make physical contact, Deku does the jump. However, his eyes are still blinded. His fortitude should help take care of that. He's not sure what the guy saw, but it shook him up something fierce, something bad. Right now, he can't be out here. It would be best to take him inside. And that, it's for the best. Right now, they do to pull Deku inside. And Deku does get a new achievement. Him still being able to see his HUD. Though things look incredibly blurry. And he does go to open it and read the name. You shouldn't have seen that. This achievement has been modified. It is currently unique. You were the first person to witness it. Now, reward. This item is unique to you. It has been modified and augmented personally for you. Do not share this information, or you will lose this item. Keep quiet about that. And Deku does accept the item. Right now, however, he just wants to sleep. He wants to just try and calm himself down. The item does gonna manifest in his hand, and he does go to whisper the word equip. Just going to lay down and try to put it out of his mind. There's something in the sky. It has a strong soul. Not even that. Thinking back on it, it looked at him. It stared right at him and he felt his being waver. Like he was going to be ripped apart, pulled to shreds. And then it looked away. It didn't think he was worth the effort. It could have killed him. He still does feel pain in his soul. But it's faded. But it hurts. He's never felt more afraid in his life. And that's the end of the night. Deku does fall into slumber. And they do eventually come over to try and comfort Deku, setting his helmet down next to him. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.